This episode of The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast Extra Take, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you could support the show, go to patreon.com/thearena_podcast. Hey everyone, welcome into another edition of The Arena Extra Take, our supplemental series to The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly of Burly Gaming on Twitch. Burly, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, How are you, Expat?
I'm doing just fine and dandy. So yeah, we've been doing like back-to-back extra takes the past few days. So And of course, Burly's background there. I have to say, I'm going to make a guess. It's not Ghost of Tsushima, but it's another game related to Japan.
What, you told me this was Ghost of Tsushima and I can just weeb about it for 3 hours.
I didn't say that. All right. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and show for all of you video viewers. So, Trek To Yomi, we're going to show gameplay of Trek To Yomi, and we're going to give our thoughts on that tonight. Of course, Trek To Yomi is on PlayStation. It's also on Xbox and PC. So, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty cool game. I mean, it's not in scope of size as Ghost of Tsushima by any means. No. Yeah. But it's fun nonetheless. So let's go ahead and start looking at some of the gameplay, and we'll start talking about it. And Burly, I'll let you talk about your experiences with it first. So let me go ahead and get the gameplay started here. Okay. So this is like from one of the cutscenes in the game. And I mean, it's a 2D side scroller, but I mean, this is, based on the Kurosawa films of like the 1950s. Yeah. And right now we're going to see some of the gameplay here. So like the melee attacks and everything. So Burly, go ahead, take it away. What did you think of some of the combat in this game?
Oh, the combat was so much fun. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed the combat on it, and especially like the slices, that just the sound effects of when you're slicing in or katana to katana. They did the audio design on this game very well done. They paid a lot of attention to detail on that. Yeah.
And a lot of the set design in this game, from what I heard, is that they actually used a lot of the Edo Tokyo Museum displays to create the scenes in this game.
Oh, so cool!
It's really, really cool. Yeah. So, of course, this is set in the Edo period of Japan. So, of course, those of you that don't know much about Japanese history, the Edo period ran from the 17th century until, of course, the late 19th century. So anyway, so here we are, another scene of combat in the river. So, I mean, there you go. It's like where you could parry there. So another parry attack. And so you have like your short-ranged and attacks. And here's a shrine where, of course, you can regenerate your health, but you can only use the shrines once. So...
you can't go back to another shrine to get that health there. So you got to be careful. But if you die, you just respawn the shrine. You will die in this game. Like I did this game in one sitting. Yeah. In one, I think it was like a 6-hour stream I did.
Yeah.
Did the whole playthrough. There's a reason why this game is on Game Pass.
Why is that, Burly? Why is it on Game Pass?
It's not a long title.
Yeah.
It is a quite budget price if you do decide to buy it, and I don't think you'll feel cheated or ripped off.
Right.
Like, it is a good length that uses its time well, but it's not a long title, so this kind of works best on Game Pass. This is something I love about Game Pass. I can just go in and try games like these.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, because like for me, this would have been $30 out of pocket.
Right.
And
Right.
for that, I could pretty much buy 2 months of Game Pass. So
Yeah, but I also think that another reason why this is on Game Pass, obviously, why most games are on Game Pass is for the exposure.
oh yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah. So yeah, I mean, with this combat, I mean, you can also like you can flip and do kind of like spin moves and everything. You can turn left and right, dodge rolls. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was trying to say, Burly. Thanks. Dodge rolls and everything. There's not much climbing in this game. There's a little bit, but not too much. And there are some puzzles. And if you know kanjis, of course, Japanese kanjis, it could be a little bit beneficial, but you really don't have to understand kanjis to get through the puzzle sections of this game. So anyway, and there are like NPCs that you can go up and you can talk to, and they can give you hints as to where particular things are in the game. So I found that useful once in a while going through the game, especially as you're going through the city areas. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. You'll get that, and the little collectibles. I actually like the little collectibles you'll find, because you do learn little things. Like they do teach you some. I don't know if it's real Japanese history from this point. Like this would be your area of expertise, and then they go into like some of the folklore stuff of Japanese.
Oh yeah, well, there's a lot of like Shinto-based, aspects to this game too. Like. And a lot of like mythology and mysticism and things like that, especially as you're trekking to Yomi. You're battling some like spirits and things like that. Some of the boss battles in this game are depicted from like mythical Japanese legends and things like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So, but here it's still just some more, combat, and you can use the environment as well. So it's like you don't have to fight every single character that comes your way. You can use, for example, there was one instance when I was playing the game where there's a bridge that's kind of broken, and then there's like a waterfall area that you break the bridge, and then a ton of water starts to flow downstream, and it sweeps up all of the combatants. So there's some natural elements that you can use to your advantage in this game as well.
Oh yeah, I didn't use as much those as I did, as I wanted to, but I did use it like where you can cut the thing, like cut one of those ropes, and it's got a bunch of like blocks and all that on them, and that fall down.
So here's a heavy combination there we just saw.
Yeah, you get a lot of combinations, but the range weapons, I use those a bit. Like you start get the kunais, then you get the bow, and then the firework cannon. I didn't use much. I liked using the kunai or the bow because the kunai are really quick. And the nice thing is for the bigger the armor enemies, because those are harder enemies to take down. So I would throw at them one or two, get them stunned, and then go in with the heavy attack combos.
Yeah. And also of course, the ozutsu. Ozutsu in Japanese means like cannons. So there are some parts of the game where you're running in the outskirts of the city, but they're using cannons to rain down fire on you. And so you can use that to your advantage as well in certain areas. And of course, the shuriken. You can use shuriken in this game as well. So, a lot of different weapons you could use as well. So, yeah, good stuff. Yeah. I mean, it was basically like playing a Kurosawa film, basically.
Oh yeah.
That's what I loved about playing this. But I have to admit, it did get a little repetitive after a while. I mean, after like the first couple of levels. It's just, XXY, XXY, X
LB to block. Yeah.
Yep. So,
yeah. That's the thing with these style of games. They are repetitive.
Right.
And actually here, funny enough, this room here, because I killed this guy and I killed him near the wall. he got stuck in the wall.
Oh, so like a little glitch in the game.
Yeah, I have it up on my hover and all that.
Oh, really?
It's just funny because I found little glitches like this when I was playing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
go ahead. Go ahead, Burly.
I was going to say something that did surprise me with this game. That you do have choices when you get into the second half of the game.
Yeah. Yes, you do. Yes.
So
yes, I mean, and this game has a few endings to it as well.
Yes.
There's not just one ending. There's at least 2 endings. I think there's maybe 3 endings.
Well, there's like 4 different choices, so I imagine.
Yeah. So 4 different endings.
I imagine there's 4 endings, and then probably if you get all 4, there's a true ending.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah, and then as you complete the game, another difficulty level unlocks. It's basically the hardest difficulty, where one hit kill. So
yeah. So basically, lethal mode, Ghost-Shima.
Right, lethal mode.
No, that's what it was in Ghost-Shima. It's called lethal mode. You get hit, you die.
Yeah. So, Burly, what was your assessment of the boss battles? I mean, I didn't think they were too challenging. I thought the very final boss was, kind of a little bit winded in a sense. I mean, just, you think he's dead. You think the boss is dead, but then he comes back. And then you think you kill him again, then he comes back. So, yeah. I mean, what did you think overall of the boss battles in this game?
Overall, the boss battles were okay. They were nothing to write home about. Like the first 2 are your typical samurai bosses.
Right.
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
They were fun. They were fine fights. It's just there's nothing like.
They weren't even samurai, Burly. They were like bandits, like bandit bosses. Yeah. So.
Like you know what I mean? Like you're fighting them as they're using katanas.
Yeah.
They were nothing to write home about. Nothing too interesting. But later on, bosses the mythical
bosses. Yeah.
The mythical bosses get a little more interesting. The final one is a little longer than I expected and winded. I would agree on that.
Right.
Especially since you don't have a health refill. Right. So like that boss probably took me about 20 minutes to a half hour because I'm playing the game.
Yeah.
Beat the first phase. I had maybe about 2 hits left on my health bar. I'm like, oh, I won.
Yeah.
Nope. Second phase out of nowhere. And then it's like, and with that second phase, if you know what I'm talking about, it's not just one opponent.
Yeah.
So it became hard, but I did feel accomplished when I did beat it.
Yeah, so did I. I felt accomplished, but it was just like, it's like...
Yeah, no.
This lasted me like 30 minutes, and I thought it would only last me 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So. But, I mean, it's a cool, 2D side-scroller. I don't think we're going to see a sequel to this game. I think this is kind of like a one and done. Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see more games in this style. I mean, because obviously Ghost of Tsushima had its Kurosawa mode, and now we have this, which is very, very similar to the Kurosawa style of film. So I would not be surprised if we see more titles to come out in the future, Japanese related, maybe Edo period related, and in this style. I don't know. What do you think, Burly?
Oh, I think we'll get more. Because Ghost, as you said, had it, but Ghost also sold so well.
Yeah.
Like, that sold insanely well.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, from a lot of people I've heard talk about this game, has gone over favorably with them.
Yeah.
People really did enjoy it. So
yeah,
that's something you'll get people.
Yeah, well, especially
get inspired by this.
Yeah, well, especially on Game Pass. I mean, this is the perfect example of a game that might not have gotten a lot of exposure on Xbox if it did not come to Game Pass. And I think that it did because, Xbox is trying to get more Japanese style games onto its ecosystem, and I think to be able to get this onto Game Pass was really cool, and it gave the game exposure. And a lot of people have probably played it that probably would have never played it if they didn't have the chance to. So if they only play on like Xbox, so yeah.
Well, this was done by a Polish developer,
right?
Flying Wild Hog. So
right.
I was curious who did this.
A Polish developer with a lot of Japanese influence, of course.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Ghost prove you don't have to be a Japanese studio to make a good Japanese inspired game.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and they also had, like, for the music too, a gagaku. It's like a traditional Japanese orchestra to make the music for this game as well. Yeah.
Nice.
So, and obviously the dialogue. It's like one thing we should mention about the dialogue choices. You cannot play this game in English. Basically, you can have the English subtitles, obviously, but you cannot. Is no English voiceover in this game. So yeah, you have to play this game with the Japanese voice acting. So with English subtitles, because when you look at the menu at the beginning, there's no option for that. So
yeah, I was a little surprised by that, but you're going full like Kurosawa here, so
yeah.
It makes sense. But like I'm really interested with the team that did this to see what else they do.
Yeah,
it's like this is something I'm getting more and more. I've been delving into the last couple of years with gaming. You don't need to be a giant AAA studio to make it just a great game. Right. You make a great budgetary price AA game.
Yeah.
If it's good quality like this, I'm all in for it. Even if I gotta buy it or on Game Pass, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it was published by Devolver Digital. So I mean, you would think that Devolver would probably want to have something else, especially, if the sales are very good on this game, to bring out another type of game like this as well in the future. So
well, I'm sure they're egging them on right now and be like, okay, this went over well. Can you make us a sequel or another something like this?
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. All right, so that was our gameplay review of Trek To Yomi. Of course, you can get it on Windows, you can get it on PlayStation, as well as on Xbox, and it's on Xbox Game Pass as well. So, if you're an Xbox player, you can try it out.
It's also I think on PC on PC Game Pass as well.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
So I've told a bunch of my buddies, I'm like, if you have Game Pass, try it.
Yeah.
Like I said to one buddy who ended up trying it, I says, try the first half hour. Give it the first half hour, because within the first half hour, if you don't like the gameplay there, you're not going to like it for the rest of the game.
Right.
But I'm like, try it. And I had one buddy that got hooked and was like, okay, I set the timer for a half hour and played 2.5 hours.
Yeah, good stuff, man. So anyway, Trek To Yomi. So this has been the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast Extra Take, where we give, of course, gameplay reviews, sometimes spoiler reviews, sometimes spoiler-free reviews, and sometimes we have some guests talking about, the games that they've been playing. So, probably in the near future, Burly, what other games do you think will be coming to Extra Take?
Well, when I eventually finish Lost Judgment, I'm just starting back up on that. So when I finish that, I figure you and I are going to do a Lost Judgment, and then when I do buy the Kaito files, I'll do one on Kaito files. But Ghostwire Tokyo probably be one.
We could do. Yeah, definitely Ghostwire Tokyo. We want to do one on that as well. So we'll be bringing those to you in the near future, and of course all the other big games throughout the rest of the year and to the fall. We'll be bringing a lot of those games to you here on Extra Take. So
Friggin'
Of course.
October is going to be a busy month for us. Let's just say that.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. So this weekend, of course, episode 88 of the Arena Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, we're going to be recording that, as well as our latest episodes of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the latest episode review. And, of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi just came out today. So we're going to be doing episode 1 and 2 review for that this weekend, or actually on Monday as well. So stay tuned for those. Those will, of course, go to our Patreon and early access. And then, of course, after that, it will go to our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. So anyway, I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-host, Burly Gaming on Twitch. Thank you so much for watching this episode of our gameplay review of Trek To Yomi. So we hope to catch you in the next one. So take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone.
Out.